welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. So I'm just going to jump right into the video today because I've actually done a review on this Vogue pattern before. I don't remember where it is. I'll try to link to it. I did create a playlist. So for those who are new to the channel, welcome. If you like these type of videos, go ahead and thumbs up this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload, which if you are new, I upload every Sunday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So yes, you have a video coming up on this Wednesday. So what I have done, so for those who are new to the channel and those who are following along, just to remind you, I am doing every quarter a different pattern and focus. And so this quarter is all about Vogue patterns. So that does not mean that I'm not sewing up other patterns, indie patterns, different things like that. But my focus is on Vogue because I have a Vogue stash of patterns, which I shared in a previous video. I'll link to it up in the iCard so you can go check it out. Because when I shared with you all of my Vogue patterns, this was one that was in it. And I was like, I really like that dress. I wore it all the time. I'll pop up a picture. I made it, it was about 4 years ago. So I did have to size down. I have the size pack that's a large through an extra large. So I sized down to an extra large for this to make sure I still had the room and all of that and everything. And so, so yeah, I am so excited to be making this. Now, full disclosure, this is not, the pictures and the video that you'll see pop up is not me styled in the outfit just yet. It's actually a week or a little more before an event. So I have another business. If you're interested, I'll leave it up in the iCards. You can go check it out, or I'll leave a link down to it below. But because I am showing some behind the scenes of my preparation for that, which don't include obviously garment making because it's not a garment based channel. But anyway, so I'll be vending as a vendor at a conference coming up at the end of April, the month of April. And so I wanted to make new pieces for that event. So this is the first piece I'm making. My second piece is the piece that you all chose for me to sew, which is Vogue 1747. You'll see that next Sunday. If I'm saying that right in the order of the videos that's going up, you'll see it. It'll be the final video of the month of April. How about that? So, and that will be a sew with me. So make sure you stay tuned. So anyway, when I was going through my patterns, and I was sharing with you, I had set a couple to the side because I was like, I loved wearing that. I'm gonna make it again. And so I pulled it out to make it again. And like I said, it's now Vogue 1735. It's the version I have, the pattern I have is Vogue 9253. So yeah, just so nobody is confused. So the only thing different I did with this one, so the first one you saw the picture I popped up was made in Ankara, and so this one is made in a different fabric, and I'll tell you what that is in a moment. But the thing that I did was different with this one is I French seamed everything, even the waistline, and I did some shirring. So I'm excited to share with you on the hem of the sleeve is what I did that for. And what else? That's basically it, because so many of you, I know you all know this pattern was so super popular several years ago. Everybody was making it. I have seen people make it into just dusters where you don't stitch up the front, but you make it into a duster. Actually, what is her name? Harrell is her last name. You all know who I'm talking about. Handmade Harrells. But I don't think that's the name of her channel. I'll put it on the, but she made a duster. I know Mondi's Threads made several. I had to go back and reference because I went back and watched Andrea's Sew to Fit video because I had this list of notes. I don't know if you can tell from when I made this the first time. I had all these notes on here and I was like, what in the world? I got on here sway back, sloping shoulder, lower the waistline by 5/8 of an inch, And so I noticed the pattern had a lot of alterations on it and changes to it, and I was like, oh, I did a lot of changes to this pattern. And so don't even remember doing it, y'all. Do not even remember doing it. And so one of the pieces I want to share with you, I'm gonna come up close, because I in the first version I raised the neckline, and of course because I had already altered the pattern, the neckline was already raised. And so what I did was when I originally did this, I followed Andrea's Sew to Fit video. I'll link to it down below because it was really good and easy to understand on how to raise the neckline with the seam allowance. So if you, I'm gonna hold this up, if you can tell, so this was the alteration I made back then, and you just follow her video. And so this is the seam, so when you sew it together, you know, you still have the V, but the V is raised up. And according to my notes, I raised mine between 4 and 5 inches, and I didn't go back and measure it, but actually it looks like 5 inches looking at it. So I did raise that neckline up, and so you'll see in the video clip of that. And so I did view A. And so I did not do the maxi length. That's kind of more sweeping gown effect version. And so let me grab the dress and tell you what fabric this is, because this fabric is absolutely gorgeous. It has been languishing in my stash. Actually, before I tell you that, let me share with you the shirring. So you all know, again, with the trying techniques that intimidate me, shirring was one of them. And so I decided to give it a try. Now when I was thinking about giving it a try, I saw Tilly in the Buttons. I was already watching other videos, but they were other machines. So I sewing currently on my Genome HD 3000. Well, Tilly in the Buttons had a video that popped up that, even though I watched the other video, she did it on her Genome machine, and it was titled something with Genome or whatever. But anyway, so I was like, oh well, let me just watch this because it's the same type of machine, and let me just see if there's anything different, because a lot of the other videos I saw talked about adjusting the tension bobbin and all this other different stuff, and I was like, ugh. And that's the kind of thing that I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing all that. And then some of the videos I was watching had a side bobbin that you put in. So my suggestion, go watch a video of a machine, do a search on your machine, the type of machine that you have. And even though Tilly and the Buttons and my machine aren't exactly the same, it's the same brand, and so the setup was very similar. And so that's what I suggest. And just what I did was played the video, watching, and just did it along with Tilly, and so that worked out beautiful. I practiced on this. So this is a cotton. I just tried it on the cotton, and then I held the iron over it just to shrink it in a little bit more. My lines aren't straight. I wasn't trying to get them straight, but I just wanted to try the technique, and so it worked. And so although my dress is not cotton, what I did was practice on the same type of fabric. And I just did one row because I just wanted to see if it still had the same effect, or if I was going to have to play with the tension or anything. So I didn't do multiple rows on this fabric, just the one row. And so I thought it was fine, so I went for it. So I went back and pulled out my swatch book just so I can tell you that, because this is no longer available, because this has been sitting in my stash since, I don't have the date, 2021. So it's been in my stash since 2021, and so it's been a couple years. And this is called, it's called Carousel Lime and Purple Rayon Voile. And so so this is a rayon, and this was, I want to say, it doesn't say on here the slip I have, I believe it was 58, yeah, it is 58 inches wide, because I was able to get the sleeve and everything cut out. And the other thing is, I did not hem this yet, because again, my event is not until the end of the month. I'm not wearing it no time soon, so out anywhere. I'm wearing it to the event, so I'm gonna wait until probably a couple days before the event, and then just even out the hem, and then sew it up. And I'll share with you what type of hem I'm gonna do. So this is the dress. Isn't this fabric beautiful? So one of the things I did was I used spray starch because it felt thin, and I wanted to use something like this. I do highly suggest using a microtex needle. Obviously, smaller holes, the smaller the hole, the better. But for whatever reason, I couldn't find mine, and I know I have a pack of microtex needles somewhere around here. I thought all of that stuff was over there, but it was not, unless I moved it, because it was just one little pack that I had. But anyway, so I end up using just a standard needle. But this is it. She is absolutely beautiful, and I will share with you how she looks on the inside, because like I said, she is completely French seamed. One of the things that I did, well, I kept messing up on the V. For whatever reason, I could not wrap my mind around the V because of that piece that was hanging out on the pattern piece. But after the fact, I was thinking, because you know when you do a V with the binding, you cut it in the angle, and then you press it open and you're able to flip it in, and you get the perfect V. And so that didn't dawn on me until well after the fact, because I unstitched this and stitched around here like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to stop, because it was, I can tell it was starting to get a little delicate around this area. So I said, you know, the necklace I was gonna wear is gonna cover up that little spot, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But let me hold it up so you can see how it's a little, it's not a perfect V. By no means, it's not a perfect V, but that's okay. So here is my shirring, and I didn't want to do a lot of rows of shirring. I wanted them close together. I went in, I measured 2 inches in from the hem of the sleeve, and then I did 3 rows, which you probably, okay, so you can tell I did 3 rows of shirring. 3 rows. And how I finished the hem is I turned it under twice and stitched it down, and that's how I will do the hem of the dress as well. And that worked for me because I used stay tape on the edge, and then I turned it under twice, which made it really easy. And so I like that. And so I'll pop up a video here where you can see how it looks on me. And the sway back, apparently whatever I did to the pattern, I honestly can't remember, it worked, because it's not puckered or anything in the middle of my back there. And so that worked really well. And then the shirring, it just looks really nice. I didn't want, like I said, a ton of it, because again, it's my first time doing shirring, so I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but it turned out really nice. And so let me turn this inside out so you can see it. And my binding on here is not the best. Like I said, I kept picking it, unpicking it, and everything, so, but that's okay. So here we go. And of course I only had 3 yards of this, so this pattern ate up all of that. And I forgot to tell you, when I'm wearing this McCall's dress, I'll leave a link up to it in the iCards. Yeah, this is a fabric hungry dress, but it feels so good and comfortable. So anyway, so here are all of the French seams. Hopefully you can see that French seamed around the waist. Yeah, you can see that. French seamed around the waist, all the arms, everything. And so with the shirring, I shirred first before I French seamed the underarm. So that's how I handled that. The only thing that I serged was, because I wasn't sure how to finish this, that little point. And so I just serged that. That's the only thing on this that's serged. But yeah, but I must say, I am very happy with it. Whatever adjustments I did to the pattern back then, it worked, because all of my seams, the darts, the front darts, because you have the pleats in the front and the back waist darts, everything lined up beautifully. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And I honestly do not remember doing all of that, but it was like 4 years ago I made that. And so, and as you can tell, when I wear the necklace, it kind of covers up that little the non-perfect V in the front, but that's okay. It still looks good, and I absolutely love it. I think I did the first time make the belt with this, but you all know I really don't like those fabric belts, so I had no intention on doing that, and I don't want to wear a belt with this at all. I just like the flow of it, the look of it. It's just absolutely beautiful. And you can't tell, but yes, everything matches up. My pleats and everything match up. So yeah, that is it, everybody. That is Vogue 9253, now Vogue 1737. And I will say, when Vogue patterns go on sale, I am going to pick up another pattern, because this pattern is it has been manipulated, played with, all of that. So I just want to back up in my stash. Plus, I might buy two. I'll probably buy two, because I do want to do the duster version. I will trace it next time. So yeah, I'm very happy with my first piece for my event this month. And so that is it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you stay tuned for Wednesday's video. And if you haven't, make sure you go vote on the Vogue pattern for May that I will be focusing on. The voting is already in. So yeah, it's coming in, I should say. It hasn't been completed yet. But anyway, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. You all have a blessed rest of your week, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.